And how we doing, folks? My name is Ryan B. Hebert alongside Benjamin Tan. Ben, how we doing?
Hello, how's your pretzel?
My pretzels have been amazing. In between rounds, I like to munch on pretzels, and I torture my other commentators. I'm sorry.
I honestly
Um,
didn't know they were so crunchy. But anyway, back to the game. We
absolutely,
have
but oh,
yeah. Yeah, you
that's
go ahead,
that's my
Ryan.
reaction. No, both players featuring an exact mirror of each other. We don't know
Yeah,
if the stats and things are correct, but they have told us they are an exact mirror. So
yeah.
we can only assume the best
Yeah,
for our players here.
apparently they know each other, so they're friends, which maybe they could be the same sets. It's just XY with Stakataka, Incineroar, Kangaskhan, and Amoonguss. So I mean, I see both of them bring their own Stakataka and Kangaskhan. Just so good against the mirror.
Yeah, you also can't forget about that Amoonguss, the power of Amoonguss, but
Yeah.
you've got to be afraid of that Eveltal.
Yeah, the Veltal just do so much to the opposing Stakataka with the foul play. I mean, thanks to Stakataka's really high defense, it it takes well, but it's still a lot of damage. At least 40%. And but I mean, however, I don't really see you trying to pin down Stakataka with a foul play because you have a Kangaskhan. So if you have low kick, it's usually a one hit knockout. I mean, technically
Mhm.
2 hit knockout because of the baby, but uh, Stakataka could survive a low kick from a -1 Kangaskhan because both of them do have Incineroar for the Intimidate, which I think they should be bringing Incineroar because Incineroar is so good here. It intimidates the Stakataka and Kangaskhan, and also it's super effective against opposing Among Us. And also
That's where
Fake
it
Out is always
counts.
yeah.
That's where it counts. What I'm interested to know about is the inspiration behind this team and where its place in Ultra Series actually fits. It's not common that you see XY in Ultra Series. It's
Yeah.
something that made its mark in Moon Series, especially, but in
Mm.
Ultra Series, it's just really a team that you haven't seen a lot of due to the sheer power and potential of Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon
Hmm.
in a game.
Yeah.
We're going to
So
see Incineroar Mugus and Kangaskhan's Takataka starting on the field. Sorry, Ben,
yeah.
continue.
No worries. Joe's lead here is actually really good because he not only did he intimidate both Pokemon, he also has Amoonguss, which could spore one of Isaac's Pokemon, unless Stakataka is usually carrying the safety goggles. But because the thing is, you want Sugar Berry as well to take Rayquaza's Earth Power and possibly like Precipice Blade from Groudon, maybe Lender's Tectonic Rage at -1.
Hmm. Yeah, very curious to know what that item is on Sakataka and how it's going to influence this game. You
Yeah,
have to be
maybe
curious.
both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe both of them knows what item they're carrying because they're running the same team.
Which just plays into the mind games even more. Does Kangaskhan target down that Amoonguss with a fake out, or does it instead target down Incineroar? But we're actually going to see Amoonguss coming out onto the field, fake out going into Amoonguss on Joe's side, and fake out coming out from Incineroar on Joe's side of the field.
Trading fake outs. But the thing
Welcome.
is, for Joe, he could just easily flab it the opposing Among Us and possibly pick up the knockout from here because he's not -1. And because Kangaskhan has been intimidated, so Double H will not do a lot to either one. And it's really safe for Joe to just spore the Kangaskhan slot unless Isaac Stakataka is carrying the safety goal. He could just safely switch it in to like prevent spore from going up.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, well put, Ben. Overall, I think the safest play would probably be that Flare Blitz into the Amoonguss.
Yep.
Although you could see a possible U-turn into something else, trying to maybe change up the positioning on Joe's side of the field. But Incineroar is just so threatening to an opposing Amoonguss. But as we've seen in this battle, we've seen a lot of defensively bulky Amoongusses today. And so what if Flare Blitz be enough to knock it out? We're never going to know because Spore comes out before the Kangaskhan can attack.
Yeah, I mean, even though Isaac switching zone is here, it's just he wants something that can actually stop Spore from going up.
We were talking about that earlier, Ben. The power of U-turn Incineroar and Amoonguss, but
Intimidate.
actually instead we're going to see Incineroar coming onto the field, -1 onto Stakataka and Amoonguss. Spore going into Stakataka. No safety goggles to be found. Stakataka stays asleep.
Yeah, so now it's safe for Joe to just keep sporing Isaac's entire team except for the Amoonguss. This really helps Joe's a lot because maybe Joe might be running safety goggles on his own Stakataka, but you never know because only Joe's know what his own item is.
It's true. It's true. Only Joe knows that. We do not have the teams. So Zerny is coming onto the field now for Amoonguss. Kangaskhan switching in for the Amoonguss slot. U-turn coming out from the Incineroar and Amoonguss switching back in. Stakataka waking up and Trick Room making its appearance on the battlefield.
Yeah, right now Joe could easily go for like a fake out Spore play thanks to Trick Room. Amoonguss outspeed everything on the field except for the Stakataka, but Isaac recognizing that play just switches out his own Stakataka into Amoonguss to just stop an incoming Spore. Right now, Isaac could also Spore all of Joe's Pokemon except for Amoonguss, but Joe does have a Xerneas which is still sleeping, so it's actually a safe switch in for Joe.
Both of these players now with very similar board positions, but Isaac down at Kangaskhan.
Yeah, if you notice, both of the players they do have the same team, but the way they approach the game, they have so okay. So Isaac actually Xerneas woke up right now, but Amoonguss could easily just go for another Spore and then clear spot the next turn. But Trick Room is expiring this turn, so Isaac could easily just go for like Protect. Then the next turn, he could just Moonblast the Joe's Xerneas. But does he want to switch Amoonguss out into his own Incineroar so that he can Flabit the Amoonguss the next turn to prevent any clear smoke? Does Joe predicts that and just Spore Amoonguss slot just in case something switches in? But back to what I was saying. The way Joe approached this match is just he brought both of his fake out user. Back to what I was saying, and then just U-turn, fake out, recycling, intimidate, sporing everything. While for Isaac, so Isaac didn't bring his own Incineroar. Isaac brought Stakataka instead. Isaac approached the Trick Room play because he wants to just in case Joe maybe for some reason brought Yveltal and Xerneas.
Isaac attempting to go for that double protect, but Incineroar switching in, going for that fake out and putting the Xerneas to sleep. Now it is a matter of time. Is Isaac willing to swap out his Xerneas into a Stakataka and wipe away those Geomancy boosts, or will he just be simply taking those away with a clear spawn?
I mean, yeah, he took for now Xerneas haven't taken a ton of sleep, so he's guaranteed to not wake up the next turn. So if he stays in, all of the stats will be cleared away by Clear Smoke. So if you switch out, it will be cleared as well. But your Stakataka comes in, you're just gonna unspeed your the opposing Amoonguss. So it's actually better to stay in to waste some turns, so that when Stakataka comes in, your Xerneas will. It's just a very bad position for Isaac right now because Amoonguss is just chipping away with Clear Smoke and Spore onto Isaac's team. So, and because he's not safety goggles, it's really bad for Stakataka anyway. So, even if you switch out, Stakataka would still get put, still be put into sleep.
And Dazzling Gleam coming off of Joe Xerneas, knocking out the opposing Xerneas. Clear Smog coming out from Isaac's side of the field, and Spore coming out from Amoonguss. Stakataka coming onto the field with full HP. All Pokemon are awake now, but the key thing to remember is that Incineroar is asleep, going to be swapping out, getting that Intimidate drop. Spore going onto that Stakataka, and Clear Smog going into Incineroar.
Yeah, but do we know that because the thing is Isaac does have Protect on his Amoonguss, so we are not sure if Joe also has Protect, because if he does have Protect, he might not have Grass Knot, which means the Amoonguss cannot touch the Stakataka at all.
Yeah,
but he does have a Kangaskhan.
Both players talking to each other for fun in the chat here. It was revealed earlier that Kangaskhan does have low kick, so with Isaac unable to switch into anything else. Actually, he's going to go for the double edge right into Amoonguss, taking ample chip damage onto Kangaskhan. But Incineroar waking up, U-turning, going to be swapping out into that Amoonguss. Stack Attack waking up, Rock Slide coming out, but just doing just a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Kangaskhan actually, the baby, landing a critical hit there, which, I mean, it definitely mattered because if Amoonguss survived that, he could just go for another Rage Powder next turn, and then Stack Attack just trick through him. I mean, in the long run, actually, maybe, it might not matter because it's just basically Stack Attack 1v4. As long as your Rock Slide doesn't flinch, Amoonguss will just spore, put your Stack Attacker into sleep because you're not safety goggles. Then the next turn, Kangaskhan can just go for a low kick. But what I'm curious is, does Joe's Amoonguss have Grass Knot? Otherwise, the only way for Joe to hit Stack Attacker really hard is just the Mega Kangaskhan low kick.
You're right. Yeah, that that would be the only thing. But right now, we're going to see Xerneas, Kangaskhan, and Incineroar Amoonguss on Joe's side of the field.
And fake out Geomancy, but it's actually not safe here to do so because if you fake out Incineroar, Amoonguss can just put you into sleep. If you fake out Amoonguss, Joe would probably just straight fake out with you. So I feel like I feel like if Isaac has Amoonguss, he might want to switch. He might want to fake out the Incineroar, and then possibly switch Xerneas into Amoonguss, predicting Joe to spore his Xerneas there.
We've seen Joe go for some interesting plays and even some great switches here. And so will he be even calling that with a possible sport into the Kangaskhan? Fake out coming out. No.
Oh.
Yeah, as he correctly predicted, Ben. Going into that Xerneas slot, putting that Incineroar to sleep, which means that it will not be getting off a fake out this turn.
You know what Joe could do here? He's going to switch Amoonguss out, U-turning. Oh, he didn't U-turn. He went for Flabbits here because I was thinking what Joe could have done was switching out Amoonguss and then U-turning with his own Incineroar back to Amoonguss so that the spore will not work because it's a grass type.
Double edge coming up from Kangaskhan, but not enough to knock out the opposing Kangaskhan. Incineroar waking up, using that U-turn, and going to be sending in Amoonguss.
Amoonguss. So I think like both players actually brought the same 4 Pokemon to this matchup. Just basically bring both of their fake out users, Amoonguss and Xerneas, to try and set up, fake out, recycle, intimidate, sporing the opponent.
At this point, both players taking their time thinking about their options. I think this is one of the critical points in the game where you have to really consider, okay, is it worth it to give up my Kangaskhan if you're Isaac? Do you swap on an Incineroar? But it looks like Joe is actually going to swap on his Incineroar, getting that Intimidate drop onto the opposing Kangaskhan. And Isaac saying, you know what? I'm going to get my Intimidate drop as well. Ooh, big damage. Big damage.
Yeah, but being able to put Isaac's Incineroar to sleep is actually good here because the thing is, right now, actually, Isaac is in an amazing position. He could just go for predict the Amoonguss to switch out because Joe might want the regenerator health, but he just goes straight for the Dazzling Gleam, just like, oh, maybe Joe's gonna stay in. I'm not gonna allow him to spore me, so I rather not Geomancy because I can always do it the next turn. I have my own Amoonguss, so if his Amoonguss is down, my Amoonguss is good against his whole team because now I can spore everything on his team.
Both Incineroars staying asleep, both opponents going for Geomancy. All a matter of what I'm assuming are probably speed ties, and both players are trying to see who's going to be able to go first.
Or maybe one of the players are sneaky and just like, Eevee doesn't need to be faster. But however, it is a speed tie.
Incineroar coming in here still asleep, but swapping it out to be able to get the fake out in the following turn.
Yeah, as long as Incineroar doesn't sleep, fake out is always coming out. So does Isaac want to risk it and just go for Dazzling Gleam, or does he want to be like, oh, maybe Incineroar is gonna wake up distant, so I should protect my own Xerneas? Maybe like U-turn. Yeah.
There it is, the fake out, and the Moonblast actually being targeted into the opposing Xerneas instead, not into the Incineroar slot. Probably not wanting to bring in Amoonguss.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's still down to speed tie. Oh, but actually Isaac winning the speed tie, and that's gonna be game 2.
Game 2, and Isaac getting that game 2. Both players going back and forth with each other in chat there.
Yeah.
1-1. Both players having lots of fun. Ben, if
I
you were
mean,
to approach this last game, how would you do so?
what he
Ben,
did
if you
in
were to
game 2
approach
was amazing
this
because, as
last
you can
game,
see, Joe actually
how
took
would you do
game
so?
1 with the double fake out user Among Us and Zernia, and then now Isaac taking game 2 with the same approach where Joe did in game 1. So I have a feeling that both of them would do the same thing because you really want your Kangaskhan here just for the stack Ataka, which threatens both of your restricted. But because I mean, since both of the Zernias are speed tying, they could have the same sets, which means Among Us might not have Grass Knot. So Kangaskhan is your only Pokemon that can hit Stack Ataka. But if both of them are actually approaching the same thing they did in game 2, that means there will not be any Stack Ataka. So Kangaskhan is slightly nerfed here. But in that case, Joe can still outspeed Incineroar and just go for a fast fake out and sporing his Incineroar. So it's basically just like a fake out trait turn and sporing trait.
Wonderful. Both players trading fake outs here. Both players putting their opponent's Pokemon to sleep. And Clear Smog coming out from that opposing Among Us. Protect coming out for Among Us. So great question. Does it have the Grass Knot? Maybe not. U-turn coming out from that Incineroar on Joe's side of the field. Wanted to speed things up here and swap in his own Among Us.
And so right now you have to hope that Incineroar wake up this turn just to get off the Flabits, even though it might not pick up the KO onto Among Us, but Among Us does have protect to protect himself from the opposing Flabits. But I feel like for this case it doesn't really matter because you should leave another Flabit because it's -1. So if Joe has bite on Kangaskhan, he might want to go for a flinch on Incineroar.
Joe double edge coming out, but it's not going to be enough to knock out the opposing Incineroar. Incineroar waking up, going for a Flare Blitz, so that was a great switch by Joe. And Clear Smog actually coming out from that opposing Among Us. So Incineroar on Joe's side in a nice position. Among Us coming out, Kangaskhan switching in, protect from the Among Us, and the U-turn coming out from Joe's side of the field. Mega Kangaskhan coming out. Both players knowing exactly how they want to position themselves. It really is just all coming down to speed ties. That's really where it's coming at.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting to take note of is that Incineroar didn't eat his berry, so he could be assault faster on both of their Incineroar.
Oh my goodness. Both of the Kangaskhan's are
Sleeping.
asleep.
Yeah.
Both of them have a Mungus out, and Incineroar comes out onto the field to drop the attack stat. And Incineroar comes onto the field to drop the attack stat.
Yeah, basically both of them are trying to get the fake out off so that they can spoil their opponent. But the thing is, are you safe to switch in? Because what if you switch into the wrong slot and then your opponent just spoil correctly? Then you're taking another turn of sleep. And for this game, they want to make sure everything else is asleep. The Among Us is cheap, so that either Double Edge or Flap is enough to pick up the KO for your Zernis to safely set up your Geomancy.
U-turn coming out from Joe UX9's Incineroar after the Kangaskhan woke up on Isaac's side of the field. But Joe's Kangaskhan staying asleep.
Yeah, Among Us is just getting the health back from Regenerator every time the Incineroar just go for U-turn. Also putting scaring off the Kangaskhan with his own ability, dropping the attack to make sure that your Double Edge or even low kick doesn't do a lot to your own Incineroar. But the thing is, they're both not running berries, so they're not gonna get any recovery from anything onto Incineroar. So for Isaac's Incineroar, he's actually in range of Destiny. Both his Kangaskhan. Actually, Kangaskhan is gonna faint now to Double Edge recoil. So right now, I think Joe is in an amazing position because Isaac could just go for Rage Power to redirect the Double Edge all day, but if you want, you can also spore the Kangaskhan just in case Incineroar switch in, which it does.
Incineroar going down to a clear Smog, and Xerneas finally making its appearance in front of it, opposing Incineroar and Amoonguss.
Yeah, but right now it's a little bit too late because uh, Isaac already lost both of his heavy hitters against the opposing Among Us on Joe's side. So Joe can just go for a spore onto Xerneas, hoping
Among Us on
I mean
Joe's
Incineroar
side.
hasn't taken any sleep, so he's just gonna stay there for like at least another turn or a couple of just chip away the Xerneas health with just clear smoke. But if Isaac wants, he could protect Xerneas, go for clear smoke onto Among Us, and hopefully your Moonblast crit will be enough.
Isaac just going for that Geomancy, resetting the stats on Amoonguss, and Spore coming out, going onto that Xerneas slot. And so now we'll see Incineroar still be asleep, clear Smog onto the Amoonguss again, clear critical hit, and clear Smog coming out onto Isaac Xerneas, wiping away that boosted Geomancy.
Yeah, if Xerneas actually wake up this turn, but which it doesn't, Moonblast should be enough to pick up a KO onto Joe's Moon. Joe is actually not switching out. He might want to switch out this turn to get more health back. Maybe switching into his own Xerneas works because you want Kangaskhan to do a lot of damage with double H.
But the Protect coming in clutch, Dazzling Gleam coming out from that Xerneas, and Incineroar being knocked out, one of your main targets for the opposing Amoonguss. So that's actually a little scary.
Yeah, because especially right now, it's the field might be kind of even because Isaac does have full health Among Us, and your Kangaskhan has to choose who to fake out. If you fake out Xerneas, you're risking yourself being put into sleep. And if you fake out the Among Us, Xerneas is just gonna use Moonblast. But Among Us actually went for Rage Powder, predicting Joe to maybe double H.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a big turn. Does Joe just go for an attack with Xerneas to try to knock out Amoonguss?
Is it enough? Oh, he actually went for Dazzling Gleam.
Oh my goodness. And it is not enough. Amoonguss coming in on Joe's side of the field. And so now both players with close, basically the same board, but there's still it's
one sleeping Xerneas and one is asleep. But is this enough to, because the thing is, Clear Smoke might not be enough to pick up a KO on Among Us. So now right now, Isaac's Xerneas has been put to sleep. And it might come down to an Among Us speed tie to and actually Joe's Among Us surviving with one health.
Oh my goodness.
So it's down to speed tie right now. Whoever wins the speed tie with Xerneas, just go for Dazzling Gleam or even better.
I think Joe's about to wake up here.
He actually woke up. Is it enough? And it is enough. Down to speed tie.
Oh my goodness.
We know that both of them are running the exact same set on at least on the speed for Xerneas and also Among Us. Both of them are carrying Protect, so I think it's pretty much safe to say that they both built the team together just for this tournament.
It's pretty fun to see. It's pretty fun to see both of these players use the same team at the same time. Because when I think of this circumstance, I think back to Ashton Cox and Jeremy Rodriguez, most notably at Memphis Regionals, way earlier in the season, where they both brought the same team. And what's really interesting is in this battle, almost every turn you saw both of the opponents almost going for the same exact thing, having a clear idea of what they wanted to do. Whereas with Jeremy and Ashton, their teams, while they were the same, they could be played very differently. With Smeargle for redirection and Lunala for the power that Lunala has. You get what I mean, Ben. Both players played these turns almost identically, which it's not too often of a thing to see. So props to both of them.
Yeah, because what Isaac realized during game one was that Joe approached this the matchup with the four Pokemon, the Incineroar, Kangaskhan, Among Us, and Xerneas. And then Isaac was like, maybe it could work for me if I try. So he did try it in game 2, and he won game 2. And in game 3, both players did the same thing as game 2 to reach the speed tie. Whoever wins the Kangaskhan speed tie, Incineroar speed tie, Among Us speed tie, and even Xerneas speed tie to pick up the KO on their opponent because the most important move on both of them is the U-turn, because you want to position yourself. You want to make sure that whatever is coming in is safe against Among Us Spore, because I like the part where they have Incineroar and Among Us on the field, because what you can do is you can switch your Among Us into something, U-turn, and then bring back your Among Us, hoping that they actually went to spore your Incineroar. And if they did, your Among Us is coming in and it's stopping the spore, which is amazing for you.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you, Ben.